And on the 9th video, did the Let's Player look at his work and say to himself, yay, this has been good. And did he rest for a period of 3 months before he returned to the world he was in? Hello, everyone. Welcome back to some more Let's Play Aeon of Sands. It's been 3 months and I think a week, at least one, since I last recorded the game, so bear with me as I take a look at my characters really quick to remember what on earth we were doing and what equipment that we had. In the last episode, I think we had skirted around the Scar, this giant tear in the desert, avoiding the pit and whatever might be inside of it. We discovered a ruin filled with undead skeletons and centipedes in it, if I recall correctly, and then found this location after we had done exploring that one. The ruins of a Konami tree, quite destroyed as we see in the horizon there, and we explored this area and were rewarded with rust flowers everywhere and not much else, if I recall correctly. We found no notes here, if I remember correctly as well, so nothing that furthers what we know so far to figure out what happened to the caravan and where it might have gone. But we do think we're heading in the right direction, based on the notes we picked up before. I don't know if I was doing a summary of all our characters, and I don't think you guys probably need it, since it will be only like a day or two between episodes when this gets uploaded. So let's head back out into the desert and continue to follow what we think. Well, not follow anything, I suppose, but go in the direction we think the caravan went in, since there was no other way to get to this side of the desert. The ruined city doesn't look like a place where Citrani would like to spend his life, nor a vacation. Maybe the desert is more appealing. Okay. Well, I can't think of any other reason for us to go back in this direction. We did miss a few things, by the way, on the other side, including another fallen Konami tree that I took a different group of mine to see what was there. Fun little adventure with some some early level loot and 1 or 2 mid-level items. We're kind of past that at this point, or we're in the mid-game at this moment. About to end it, if I recall correctly. Let's continue to take this path and see where this takes us. There are rocks up ahead on the road. Huge rocks. Citrani knows no specific word for such a thing. The world he knows is, after all, flat, except for a few large trees. And here stands this pile of colossal stones, on which the furious winds of times gone have chiseled gentle curves, levigated slopes, and left rough patches where they forgot to touch them. I'll call them nut trees. How does that sound? Citrani stares intently at the spectacle in a humble silence, to the point where he's sure to see faces sculpted on the surface of the stone. Maybe presidents? Maybe rock stars? The clerk indulges in his fantasy for a while, letting his eyes roll down the slopes, trying to place the features he sees up there on familiar faces. I'm sure that one of them is a neighbor, back in Pentella. Besides, I have lent him a hammer last year, and he hasn't returned it yet, so... And that other one... No, I don't know who that one is. But the next one looks like a dog. Or a dog-faced man, unmistakable nose, and long ears. He rants this way for a while, at least until the novelty wears off. Then he decides to camp under the relative shelter of these these formations represent, and sleep under the dog face. It makes him feel safe. Tomorrow awaits him with more walking. Anyway, really quick as well, in that other ruin, you can actually find, I think, a Konami seed there, which is interesting, because you might, if you had it, you might be able to trade it with the one group of merchants we bumped into somewhere over in this area, if I recall correctly. Surprised I have such a good memory of that area as well. Holy crap. I guess we'll overlook the scar from this side. After a long, slow turn, the crevice comes to a colossal sinkhole. To Citrani, it looks as if a hand the size of the sky has cut through the desert's skin with an unimaginable knife, and then has cruelly buried it deep, turning it inside the wound to make sure it would never heal, and finally left it open. Always looking at the bright side, he does. The clerk tries to peek into the gloom of the abyss for a while, but the unnerving feeling that unseen eyes are staring back at him, fixed and evil, soon makes him avert his gaze. Nervously, he steps back from the edge of the hole. At least, he thinks the sinkhole means that he can finally go around the gash. This looks like where we're supposed to go. A wall around the village, and there's not much beyond it except for whatever this is. Let's visit this location and see if we can figure out what happened to the caravan. The winds fell dead earlier in the day. The long trail on the stony flat occupied most of it, the eerie silence interrupted only by footsteps on the white ground, and by a few calls of unseen birds, the nature of which is unfathomable in such an uninhabited place. Towards the middle of the afternoon, a fatigued clerk arrives in proximity of a large nomad camp. Half a dozen of tall tents surrounded by hundreds of smaller ones, an animal pen with a herd of pack beasts, and what looks like a greenhouse. There's a metallic fence surrounding the whole area, and inside, dozens of nomads can be seen going about their chores. Look closer. In the center of the fence is a makeshift gate large enough for 2 carriages to pass at the same time. Under 2 sheltered posts next to it, sentinels are standing guard. Citrani tenses as he collects his depleted energies. They've seen me. Make way, you ignorant hazardous grollocks of scarlats! Open the gate! Be important! As those words fill the clearing in front of the entrance, one thought crosses all the travelers' minds, packbeasts included. That went catastrophically bad fast. Well, all minds except Kalka's, who was the one to have spoken those words. Go for a long-winded explanation. As is customary at all social events in this and many tangential realities, when the grok-licking of Skrurat, be it egregious or blistering in variety as it may be, is called upon to define the appearance or the station in the world or the sexual preference of one, and of course the way he or it, less frequently she, prefers to dip braided chest hair in the white of the Grolla bird's egg at 3 in the morning before sand diving next to an anthill. The people to whom the definition is applied this very moment have their weapons pointed at the refined socialite's neck, Kalkas, mostly to persevere their mind to wander about the great mystery of what a Skurat actually is. The mystery lies in that no one ever saw a Skurat, or any trace of it. Mind-bogglingly continue. The pack beasts at this point, it is not clear if they ever were with Citrani or came into existence in the bump and boggle of reality that just happened and felt a sudden and keen will to keep on living, not to mention their loyalty to the clerk. That may or may not have just occurred. Jump in front of Kalka. Okay, so Kalka shouted at the guards drew their weapons, stared at her. Kalka's probably continuing to scream at them, and then suddenly some pack beasts got in the way to protect Kalka from the guards from attacking her. Yeah, this looks complicated. I promise you it isn't. Damn, I also promised to pretend not to acknowledge you, player, since the intro. Oh well. Yeah, what was that about the pack beasts? The pack beasts jump into the middle of it, just in time to further bedazzle the two nomad guards, who, by the way, always suffered the difficulties of reconciling their function and their nature, never sure of what came first, standing guard or walking around as nomads. I stand by that. Complicated. The clerk takes it as a sign from his gods to become a religious person, but the epiphany gets deferred as he is distracted by the sound of his own mouth saying, "I don't know this person. Never met her before, in fact." The clerk continues, "I'm an executive from Pentella on official business. Important business. I mean you no harm. I want to mix my water with your chiefs." That doesn't sound very hygienic, though. The guards hesitate, one pointing at Kalka, shaking his head vehemently at his colleague, while the other shrugs. "In all fairness, the way my cousin told me how screw-rats look like, I could see you consorting with them on occasions." But the first guard doesn't seem to think so. "Go away." "No, I politely refuse, you idiot." Centrani appeals to the other guard. "We can't. If you could simply let us talk to your boss. This is all just a misunderstanding." Meanwhile, people are gathering at the other side of the fence to see what the fuss is about. Uh-oh. What do we do? Ask again to meet the camp master? Or since Kalka's already here doing distraction stuff, let her continue to do distraction stuff. I don't know what I should do. You know what that means, viewer? That means it's time to get some dice. And let the dice decide. Okay. I have a almost clear yellow and gold die and a foggy blue and white die. If the foggy one wins, the higher roll, we will have Kalka do a distraction. If the other one wins, we'll ask again to meet the campmaster. Highest wins. Here we go. It's the foggy one, with a 15 over the 14 of the yellow and gold. Ask Kalka to start a distraction. The nomad woman doesn't even wait for Centrani's encouragement to make a scene. "You with the beard!" She points to somebody in the little crowd, whose only facial hair available is a couple of very thin eyebrows. "What is you looking me at? Why? Oh, what is you looking me? Why?" Again with the sorry fake language. I hate this game. Kalka furiously kicks the sand at her feet, throwing it around at the guards, at the people. Once, twice, a little cloud dissipates sluggishly between the dumbfounded figures. Little shining silicate crystals adhere to their limbs. For some reason, in a quick flash, images of breaded meat and zucchini gratin cross Citrani's mind. Adding a layer of yuck doesn't make him more interesting, you know. That sounds pretty tasty. It's funny and completely unrelated to that. The sudden burst of little flame tongues that rise from the guards' feet and send them running around in panic. The crowd starts to cry or laugh in accordance to their own taste in food, as the guards run around screaming and dive into the sand, rolling around to extinguish the fire, while Kalka tosses a couple of dry sticks back into her sack and proceeds to harass the nomad closest to her. Jump to the other side of the fence. Well, why jump over it when the gate is practically open already with people on both sides, mildly distracted by burning clothes? Well, Kalka remains with the guards, moving to the next item of her crazy repertoire. Citrani discreetly slips inside the camp, feeling the other side is just as shabby and inhospitable as the one he just came from. Oh, disappointment. A more experienced architect, in fact, would have just put the gate into the middle of the camp, so as to dismiss any thought that one side was better than the other. An even more experienced architect would have put the gate into the middle of the desert instead, with nothing around, and called it a day. I take it the people in here, though, want to be protected from whatever is outside, and thus that's why the gate separates the two, even if the conditions are arguably the same. My wildest dreams revolve around that second sentence, though, calling it a day. Enough lollygagging. Let's get to business. Not exactly what business Citrani has in mind. The clerk finds himself in the middle of a clearing, a stage for raiders, and a station for the caravans arriving at the camp. Have a look around the plaza. I saw what you did. Cute. A sunburned man strapping his breather mask to his head, a whip tied to his waist, looks at Centrani with half a smile. With the guards. The clerk looks around, nervously eyeing the man's party. No harm done, though. She's mostly harmless. I was just passing through, by the way. The man sneers. I doubt it, tree hugger. Citrani tenses at the recognition, but the man laughs it off, joining the rest of his party heading out of the camp. The clerk is starting to become accustomed to the feeling of carrying no weight at all in this land, but he's no less concerned with they knowing him for what he is. This is not a safe place. He walks to the caravans stationed at the other side of the clearing. A couple of large convoys are waiting for their trawling beast, large lizards, scaly bovines, to be exchanged for fresh ones. Traders are occupying the time bartering with the campmasters somewhere under the shade in the innards of the strange little city. Consider what to do. So if we're going to find the caravan who's supposed to meet with everyone else, we'll find them here, assuming they are still here, or hopefully catch news of where they went. Citrani leans on a pile of abandoned cases, watching the lethargic movements of the nomads under the sun of the approaching midday. He doesn't know what he expected to find here. Some sign that the missing caravan passed this way? The caravan itself? The proof that the nomads have stolen it? Yet, his home is not far enough from here to sit comfortably. A whole slaver's camp. Should we go to the pens, or should we just sit here? Oh, man. Let's let the dice decide again. We'll roll the same dice. This time, if the blue one wins, we will look at the pens. Blue one wins. Let's have a look at the pens. After almost an hour of zigzagging through the tents to avoid armed nomads and large groups of people, the boundaries of the camp feel larger and blurrier, while he feels more uncertain. The clerk is completely lost, as opposed to before. Yes, the camp is much bigger than he thought, and much more menacing in its proximity to home. But there's something else, too. A nauseating feeling that he can't place. But that has upset him since the beginnings of his travels, and then slinks away. Like, through what? Through the listless movement of the women scavenging the finds of the raiders around the caravans. The buzzing... Wait. Through the listless movement of the women scavenging the finds of the raiders around the caravans. The buzzing of the flies in the empty tents. The noises that are crowding him a moment and are completely gone the next. For no apparent reason. What's that? Are you trying to pull a Lovecraft on me? Wallowing around now, uncertain and nauseous, on the brink of unspeakable... Pardon. With a mildly disturbing, not at all panicked sense of suspicion and unsafety, the clerk enters a quiet alley and blunders to a group of nomads he did not see, wilting under the shade of a makeshift roof. Oops. I didn't know our Master Kovas had tree huggers out in the slave pens. Look at this one walking freely. Where are your shackles, slave? Stall them, or ignore them. Ignoring them doesn't seem like a good idea. We'll stall them. Careful now. We frown on slavery where I come from. The men sneer. Oh, and what is your bureaucracy if not a form of slavery that keeps hold of each and every one of you, tree hugger? The nomads still do not move out of their hovel, and Citrani considers if he should ignore them and leave, but that's risky. You know nothing of my home, and I'm going there now. Bye. Don't bother to get up on my account. Oh, that's what Citrani says. The clerk has not yet made one step when something is thrown on the floor in front of him. A pair of shackles. Not so fast now, slave. Try to scare them. The clerk doesn't waste any more time and desperately dives a hand into the soft sand in the ground, briefly concentrating. Before the men can move, waves of sand rush their feet, gaining strength and unsettling the unsteady basement of their shack, rattling it off its stakes. Rattling its stakes. Wow! Good for Citrani. Everybody turns to look at the rustled sheet roof creaking and squirming under its weight before suddenly crashing down on the men beneath it. Curses and laments come from the crashed heap, the men now busy to get out of. Citrani dashes into another alley. Run! He runs, breathless in the hot, harsh air, the feeling of nausea never going away completely, and often menacing to grab hold of his knees, to drag them down to the sand. Citrani cannot get any more lost, he manages to reason, so at least there's that, and nothing more besides. That's the first time Citrani actually, like, well, maybe not the first time. I don't remember every single video at this point, as it's been so long since I played them. But Citrani actually did something and saved his skin. He's grown in power since he had first left that home of his in Pentella. I like seeing it manifest itself in some of the writing here. But the clerk is at his limits. He's about to collapse from the fatigue. That's it. That's enough. He sees a tent not different from any other and plunges into it blindly, almost falling through its threshold. And everything becomes dark. Well, continue. The first thing that he notices is that he's not dreaming anymore of swinging lazily through the higher branches of his beloved Konami tree. The second thing is the hard soil under his aching body. The third is his own grasp of place and time. He's aware that he's still in the tent, and that no more than half an hour has passed. The fourth thing he notices is that there's something amiss. Something that he cannot quite place. It's an interesting picture, by the way. My eyes are immediately drawn to the Konami tree, I guess, picture here. The giant tree. Like decency? Maybe something for which he needs to be more widely awake? Citrani tries to concentrate. Yes, he's alone, and this is good. Otherwise, he would probably not wake whole. More likely, with limbs missing. He checks if this is about his weariness. No, that's still in place, all over him. Then what? Maybe then it's about the large pile of crates and jars occupying more than half of the tent. All wearing a brand. A tree between two wings of wind. Pentella's brand. Wait, what? After all that running around half-crazed with repeated sunstrokes, after the careful and not completely clueless inquiry in the landmarkless land, forsaken by the gods, but not by the suns, after all of the trample and the trudge, what? The main character stumbles on the missing caravan by chance? What about the epic, the trailing worth of a title in a story, The Citrani's Trail? Not to mention, I feel cheated. Told you that already? The clerk was thinking something loosely along those lines while pretending to browse the wares for his made-up story's staging. Then, what should have happened after the trailing part of this script of his... Oh my goodness, everyone. Give me a second. I'm trying to wrap my brain around what's happening here. The narrator is joking with us a bit, and I guess he felt sorry for us and let us happen upon evidence that the caravan was, I guess, ransacked or traded with this group of nomads, is what the impression I'm getting. And Citrani had been looking to try to come up with an excuse after reaching this caravan as to where it went or where it didn't go, so he could tell the people in Pentella and get back inside, is my guess. But as it happens, he's actually found some proof of this. So let's read this again. The clerk was thinking something loosely along those lines while pretending to browse the wares for his made-up story staging. Then, what should have happened after the trailing part of this script of his hit him in the head, in the form of a jar falling very little, thespianly. My goodness, guys, I haven't read most of these big words that's the year before. Not out loud, at least. Thespianly. That's gotta be a real word. It is now. This is my ticket home. But what home exactly? What will happen with the enemy practically at our gates? What should I do? It's interesting to note that at this point, that Citrani's apparent lack of concern for the fate of the caravan, guides, and undercover diplomats. It's interestingly to note at this point that Citrani's apparent lack of concern for the fate of the caravan guides and undercover diplomats, he will for sure blame on the writer when the reviews will be out. Is there even a writer responsible for this mess? The clerk reaches the busier part of the camp in proximity to the gate's clearing. Well, busier as the midday slowness allows, when one considers that these nomads do not seem very alert in any case. The feeling of dizziness impregnates everything in the camp, from the dirty hovels to the dirty people to the dirty dirt. Maybe it's something in the dirt. In the very soil. I feel dirty reading this filth. Oh, or, well, simply something that plays tricks to the laws of physics. Dirty tricks. Whatever. I like the continued use of the word dirty to link things together, writer. I like it. Citrani considers what to do. Courtney seems uncomfortable, even more uncomfortable than your standard smelly camp full of slavers discomfort. She grabs hold of the clerk's arm. You know, I'm crazy, yes, but not so crazy to tackle the whole camp. We must avoid confrontations and escape. Ooh. Our home is at risk of falling if we let this camp exist. Do we dare fight? Or do we do the Citrani thing and flee? We're tired from reading the texts, and I don't know if we can tackle a boss because I haven't done any fighting in 3 months, but we could try. It would be very heroic, and we have done other heroic things with Citrani. New dice. New dice! New dice. Alright. I've got a red dice for blood and a yellow dice for being a yellow-bellied coward. Whichever one of these wins is what we choose. It's running. Okay. Do you have any idea how to get out of here? I may. And funny that it took not that much to convince you. The woman looks carefully at the nomad scavengers around, clothing herself with a rag of an even more tattered quality than the ones the party is used to, then urges Citrani to do the same. She secures her rebreather to her face, hiding her features in the way of the nomads. Let's go and see if we can get out of this madhouse. She and Citrani blend into the little crowd of raiders queuing out of the camp, ragged and dirty, just like them then. Nobody looking at them twice. Luck seems to have been on their side, too, as the guards are not in sight. Kalka occupied everybody's attention elsewhere. With her bleeding at this point, probably. In a few minutes, they are outside the gate, following the raiders on their path. Citrani's about to give in to relief when suddenly he hears the closer nomad taking a head count of the party, and ending with 2 heads more than expected. Don't worry, math is a matter of opinion! The nomad calls for the party's chief, as Courtney urges the clerk to get some distance. The 2 companions are quickly spotted in their attempt, and the raiders waste no words. They attack. Fight on! Oh, Kalka's gone. Oh! We ate a grenade! You died! Only 2 kinds of creatures get fun in the desert. Bedouins and gods, and you're neither. Game over. Lawrence of Arabia, that's where the quote comes from. Oh, man. Well, that sucked. Alright, then. I don't think we should end our trail there, though. Let's see where the game left off. Did we get an autosave? Oh, man. We gotta do all this over again. Okay, well, we gotta do it all over again. So, why don't we do most of the choices the same? But this time, I will stay to fight the Caravan Master. And I'll do all that reading off screen. So I'll be back when we're back at the Nomad camp. Alright guys, we're back. That didn't take so long. So, this time, we'll try for not the whole tribe, only the master of the camp. Courtney's face tells how little she likes to plan, but she agrees to follow the clerk to the larger and more colorful tent of the camp that he assumes to belong to the master of the nomads. They arrive there, just as Kalka is dragged unconsciously inside by 2 guards. Citrani decides not to lose any time and rushes in behind them. Ah, And here arrived the whole band. Don't you have any manners, tree huggers? Or do you reserve those for your saps and bushes? The man who spoke, Kovis, sits slouched on his seat, a hand on the body of a concubine, while the other sits calmly on the hilt of his weapon, a glass whip. Don't you dare to play words with us, bandit! We found the caravan you took from us, accused the clerk, and have no pleasantries for you. Know that robbery was an act of war. Nobody seems particularly impressed by the clerk's words, except the two guards who stand in the middle of the tent, with their weapons in hand, next to Kalka, who seems to have come to her senses. Courtney tenses, too. Kova seems amused. And what do you expect from raiders, if not to take what's yours? That has always been our way. Courtney answers him in Tatrani's stead. No, that was deliberate. You know, raiders. Wait. No, that was deliberate. I know you, raiders. Never attacking large caravans or a city's outskirts if you're not planning something big. There's more to this, isn't there? Well said. Of course there is, answers Corvus. Something surprising. Something surprising, but that's a surprise for someone else. Prepared by a new friend of mine. Not for you. Who will be shortly in chains. Gods! Finally, a clear enemy. Thank you! The guards start to move, but too late for Kalka, forgotten by all, who unexpectedly grabs a knife from the closest guard and cuts his feet's tendons before she sinks it into the other guard's calf. Then she rises to attack the caravan master with her own weapon. Other nomads rush to the party among the cries of the concubines. The battle is joined. Woo! Wow, this is awesome! I like how different the game ended up being at this point. So we could have fought in the desert and lost Courtney from our earlier choice of running, but instead we get to fight against the bandit leader and all his guards. Something that we had wanted to avoid in the end. We gotta be careful of ones that can throw grenades at us, or we're doomed. That looks like a really big hammer. Oh my god, that must be the I guess that's their leader. Can't let Actually, he had a glass whip is what it was said. Oh no, that says Kovis. Dead! Perfect. A wave protector is what he dropped. We have all these mana recovery items. We're not out of this yet. Need to work on Courtney's accuracy. Oh, nice. Double kill. Well, not quite a double kill, but 2 kills right in a row. My goodness. This is awesome. Ooh, what is this? I want it. An iron sickle? Damage 3 through 6, DPS 2 through 3. Left-hand weapon. Not better than I think any of our other left-hand weapons. Yeah, our ionized blade's better. Oh, they have an oasis here. I guess that would make sense for a camp. Oh, that looks bad. Nomad Slasher. Maybe we should get out of here? But a part of me feels like this is probably our last chance to get a flamethrower. So I mentioned a long time ago now that I had gotten some distance in this game. And the last time I was here, I think what I had done is most of what you've seen, but I ignored the guards instead of confronting them, and something very different happened when I had done that. I won't say what in case you guys decide you want to play this game yourself. I like this. I like how different it can be. I can see myself making different choices. Although some choices oh, this guy's armored. Who has the... It's you. Citrani. I guess you'll just hold on to that at the moment. I feel like we've missed a few things. There were probably other options we had that we didn't take. And we're not near... We are near the end of the game, but we're not at the end game quite yet. We should see what's up this way. I hadn't even been looking for secrets or illusionary walls. I was assuming there were none. Oh, hello. Enhanced rebreather. +1 agility, +6 stamina, +1 strength, +1 prot. That sounds incredible. We'll give it to Courtney, who could benefit from the extra agility. Is your agility? 24. This rebreather will lower it by 5, but you can still use all your items. You'll do a little more damage with your spells, but you have a little less mana. Ooh, you won't be doing much. Maybe we should also use the Wave Protector instead of the Constitution Booster. You'll gain a little more agility back from that. You'll gain a little bit of mana back from that. You'll gain more mana. Yeah, let's swap this out. Actually, so we'll just hold on to the leftovers in case I decide to change my mind later. Let's see how effective this is. A fence, probably for where they're keeping slaves. Right, I think we're... No, you don't. Nice. Woo! So you can dodge the grenades, but that takes good timing. There certainly are a lot of bad guys around here. Oh god, hello. We can lose pretty much immediately if Citrani gets hit. Since he's down 17 hit points. Sorry, 7 hit points. Thanks to sacrificing himself on the stone. Look at how much of an impression this game left for me. I remember some of the things which have happened to my party. How's this looking? Okay. Let's keep fighting our way through the camp. Woo, that was close, Tim. Both of those were throwing, yep, explosives at you. I don't see anything on that unfortunate corpse. This must be the way out. I want to fully explore this area since we're here. Let's go ahead and kill as many as we can. I like the music too. The guitar is nice. My goodness, the damage that this flechette launcher does is incredible. Looks like she dropped some boots. Pentalon goods. Okay. Oh, this must have been the camp. This must have been the tent. Or actually, it's not a tent. Never mind. I thought this was maybe where we woke up, seeing all the equipment. Another water skin. Oh, we should hold on to some more healing items. Pair of desert boots. What is everyone wearing at the moment? Desert boots. Insulating boots. Mag boots. We don't need these then. More Pentalon goods. One of those can throw that one. The ones with the spears can throw bombs. So much for not all the camp, Courtney. I'm sorry. Oh, there's friendly fire. Friendly fire is not so friendly. I don't like how wide open this area is. A bomb can be land in our face from any direction. That looks like a brawler of some sort. Ooh! Nice hit! Flechettes. They must have been used at one point for this gun, but they're no longer required for it, right? The flechette simply doesn't need any ammo. Bone of Mole Beast. Oh, this is a fire restore. We even have one of them already. I feel like we don't really need any more of those. Let's have Centrani switch his element type. Just temporarily. I would prefer him to use the water, but we're not in any danger at the moment of... rather, I don't feel like we're in danger. Since we've cleared out some of the enemies, we have some space to work with here. Gonna be firebolts. Hello, yep, you see us, we see you. Not get to get away today. Oh wow, look at all the corpses in this area. Okay, so this must be where the slaves were located. You know, let's just talk about water, that we find some. Tim, a single one of those will kill everyone in your group, so you better be sure that you're gonna get out of the way if you want to entertain the viewers with more content by waiting to the last second. Pretty epically, I might add. Nice. We get another bomb. Trani, let's have you get rid of some of that. Oh, whoa! Medical extract, that's a heal. Wow. So many dead people. Some bandages, some meat. Nothing I think we need. Yeah, so we're exploring, I guess, the entire southern area of the camp at the moment. I love that this was added in. I've never been here before, viewer. I'm with you here the first time. This is amazing that they have such large areas that you can simply miss. I love this. Let's finish exploring this area. Oh, okay. Well, that was easy. Back to the center area and around these two areas. So this must have been the... I guess this is where we met. This looks like the center of the camp, which is where I'm guessing the leader of the caravan was located. I was hoping to find a flamethrower somewhere in here for Courtney, but it looks like we're not going to get that. Still, an advanced rebreather is very nice. I have not noticed anything that looks like an illusionary wall. Let's check this area out. Actually, to get there, we have to go all the way back around this way. At times like this, I begin staring down at the mini-map to help guide me to where I've been and where I want to go. I want to go this way. I love how vicious Kalka is also. She is amazing. Nice try, but not today. go this way. I hear more footsteps, so I know there's others around. Oh, okay, that's it. If there's something up in here, we're not getting it. Let's try to get into this little area. I can imagine the adrenaline pumping through these heroes as they're running through this area, killing all the bandits. I thought Calca was one of them. Oh, wow. We hit her. Now she's dead. Another medical extract. Alright, and that's it in the camp. At least on this side as well, which is most of the camp now. Let's head down this way. Keep killing nomads. So we have quicksand. I don't mind going through it. It sticks to us. We can break out of it easily enough. I don't need a single thing of meat. Okay, so that's all that's here. So I think we're probably done then. Let's move over to this east side of the camp. Oops. Ah! Keep walking into the quicksand. Let's see. This way, Tim. Iron sickle. Not better than what we're using for offhands. Remember, Tim, you picked it up already. Where are we going? This way. We want to search everything for all the secrets. I hear footsteps. Oh! Flamethrower! There is one, and it is in the camp. 1 through 7 damage over 4 seconds. We have 20? 20 reloads for it only, okay? We'll have to be careful with when we decide to use that. Damage 12 by fletching. So that does 12, a d12. Oh, that's interesting. This also costs us 1 hit point and 3 stamina to use it. I guess it burns hot when used. We should fire it at least once, right? Let's give it a try. We'll have to keep our eye open for more flamethrower fuel. More medical extract. We'll have to sit down and look at all our equipment when we're done with this area. Okay, we're not about to be. Let's burn this one. If I had more flamethrower fuel, I would love it. It's a close-ranged weapon, though, which I was curious about. So we probably do more damage with our current loadout. So we'll keep using that here. Oh, hello. Oh, what is this? That's a new magic item, and I'm guessing it's water related. We have this, just that area. We can't get to it from this side. That's more rust flowers. I thought we were done with those in a prior episode. Some electric cable. Alright. I think that's everything. This is quicksand. Yep, that's everything. Okay, let's... I guess what I'll do, everyone, is we've been playing for, it feels like about 45 minutes to an hour or so. So we'll stop here, and when we come back, we'll venture into the other half of the camp. This is Kovas's camp core area, so I guess it's the outskirts next. So I'll see you guys then, and thanks for watching, everyone.